Good evening, everyone. It's good to come back. Last week I was in Miami. Rav David Saba was with you here, Baruch Hashem. I'm sure there was a very good lecture. Spoke about marriage, right? And today our topic is very interesting. We're going to speak about nails. Nails. Yeah. And I'm sure you think, wow, what you have to, well, so much information about nails, a whole lecture about nails. Yes, there's a lot of things that we can learn from it. But first of all, this is our Zohar class. We're going to speak about the deep meaning of nails. We're going to speak about why do we have nails? Why we just don't have like another piece of skin? Where it came from, and is it good to grow nails? It's not good to grow nails for men, for women. Why people grow nails? The shochet and the mohel, those who work in the slaughter, the Jewish slaughter, and the Jewish mohel, the one that make a circumcision, they do grow one nail because they need it for work. Why they do that? We're gonna maybe also touch this one. We're gonna speak about the spiritual power of the nails, and how can we use the nails to succeed in life, and to have like different secrets from the Zohar. How can we use the nails? For example, I think we spoke about that one time, Havdalah, right? When we do Havdalah on Motzei Shabbat, so we use the nails, we show the nails to the fire, we do different things with the nails. Why do we do that? What do we get from this? And B'ezrat Hashem, more interesting things. We're going to speak about miscarriage. We're going to see that miscarriage has a certain connection to nails. And B'ezrat Hashem, we're going to reveal some secrets that even the doctors doesn't know. So B'ezrat Hashem, yeah. So B'ezrat Hashem, let's start. First of all, I would like to start with an introduction of why do we have nails. Nails, it's something that also men and also women have. We have it at the end of the body, right? We have it in the end of the hands and legs. So this is called, according to Torah, the nails called the end of the body, because they are basically the body finishes with the nail. And it's very interesting because the nail, if you take the nail, it's a material that is very weird. It's like a stone, it's like very hard. So where the nail came from, and why do we need it for? If we would have just skin, it would be also good, So for example, for every organ that we have, there is a reason. The teeth, for example, we need them. We need them to be hard, because if you're gonna have skin instead of teeth, you can't eat, right? So we need them to be like very hard, like stones. But the nails, what's the reason the nails? Why do we need them for at that place, at that location in the body? So to understand that, we have to go a few thousand years ago, and to see the beginning of the creation, and how God created the world, and to go a little bit deep into the story of Adam and Eve, and see what's happened there. Now really, to talk about Adam and Eve and all what happened there, we need few lectures, and B'ezrat Hashem, maybe we're going to do it one time, because it's very deep, and it's for sure not what we're thinking, or whatever the teacher was teaching us in school when we studied, I studied in Israel, so they teach, even in secular schools, they teach Tanakh, they teach the Bible. And when the way that they teach the Bible is very, very, very wrong, because they tell you a story about two, the husband and a wife, Adam and Eve, that they had no brain, they had no, they were not really mature, and they had an apple, and they wanted to eat the apple, and they couldn't control themselves, and the lady took the apple and she gave it to him, and then God was angry at them. And this is really, this is not serious. This is the story, but we have to understand what's that story. First of all, they were not physical like we know today. Like, they didn't have that skin that we have. And we explained that, I think, in our lecture about clothes that we did 2 weeks ago, that Adam and Eve, when they were created with a light. Their skin was not a skin. We have an animal skin. They had a certain light on them. They were spiritual. That light, the Torah calls it a nail. So their body, before they sinned, was a nail. That's how the body looks like. Adam and Eve, a nail. Those nails that we see now, that's how their body was before the sin. The whole body was created from that material. And the nail has a very, very, very big light. That's why we call the nail in Hebrew tziporen. In Hebrew, tziporen comes from the word tzipui oren. Tzipui is a cover. Oren, it's or as light, nun as 50. So it covers the light of 50. What's 50? 50 is the Binah. One of the, there's 10 powers that God created the world with those powers. The third power is called Binah. Keter Chochmah Binah. Binah, that's the women power in the world. It's called Binah. The Binah, this is symbolized as 50. Because there's 50 gates to the Binah, to that power. Okay? According to Kabbalah. So, basically, Tziporen, which is a nail, it's the light of the 50th gate of Binah. That's a very, very high light. Yeah? And that's why it's a very, very big energy we have in the nails. Adam HaRishon, he was very holy, and that's why he was created as a nail. The body was a nail, was a very, very, very high light of the Binah Elionah. But then he made a sin. And when he made the sin, he became like an animal. From that very high level, he went down. And that's why we have an animal skin right now. But we have leftovers. The leftovers from the body, the very high spiritual body that Adam and Eve had before the sin, that nail, we have it. Baruch Hashem, HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave us a little bit of it. We didn't lose the whole light. We have a little bit of that light. Why do we need this light for? This light is a protection. The reason why we have nails is because we need a spiritual protection. Spiritual protection from what? From negative powers. Nails basically has a very, very high light that protects us spiritually from the negative forces, and therefore we can exist. If we would not have nails, we can't exist. We need the nails because nails is a source of energy. Nails is the light of Adam and Eve before the sin that we have left over in our body. That's why nails are very important. Now, the thing is that because the nails is such a very, very high light, there's also a whole subject in Torah, in Kabbalah, in the Zohar. You can look at the nails and know the future of the person. There's people that are very, they know that knowledge. They look at the nails and the shape of the nails. They look at the color of the nails. They look at the white nekudot, dots that we have on the nails, and they can know what things gonna happen with you in the future. We can know things about your character just by looking on your nails. The Zohar speaks about that in Parashat Yitro. Why? Because nails, it's a big source of energy, and this is basically your reality is in the nails. Now, the nails that we have, as we said, it's a protection. That's why when we wake up in the morning, the first thing a Jew does when he wakes up in the morning is netilat yadayim. We wash our hands. Why do we wash our hands? What's the purpose of it? Why we don't wash our ears? Why we don't make shampoo? Why the hands? So, you want to answer?
Because it says negative spirits go into the hands, it comes out.
But why to the hands? Why not to the nose? Oh, fair. So basically, I want to teach you a rule. It's a rule of life. Every power in the world, negative, positive, they have only one source of life. Kedusha, holiness. Holiness, it's positivity, it gives life, right? People that are very sad, negative, they're gonna die soon. Why? Because if you don't have life, means positivity, you can't live, you can't exist. So, energy means a positive energy. Now, there's also a negative energy. Where is the negative energy takes the power to live, to exist? From the positive energy. So all the bad forces, the negative forces, some people they say bad angels, negative angels. Even though I have a little problem with the word bad, because there's no really bad things in the world. Even the bad things that were created, they look bad, but they're really good. You know, in the Torah it says that every day Hashem says, Tov. Right? He created the day, and then he says, Vayar ki tov, and he saw that it's good. Everything that Hashem did is good. Baruch Hashem. But then, on Monday he said, Ine tov me'od. It's like very good. Why here you say very good? The other days you say good. Here is very good. So Rashi explains something very weird. He says, Tov ze yetzer hatov. Me'od ze yetzer hara. What he meant good, because Hashem just created the good inclination. The good desires that we have. The me'od, the very, is the creation of the bad desires, of the evil inclination. You call the evil inclination me'od, very? So they say, yeah. The reward that we get is because of the Satan. We have to thank him. He gives us work to do. He gives us a reason to live, basically. We need him. Hashem created him for a good purpose. So that's why I don't really believe that there's something called bad in the world, but there's as we see, right? If we don't go deep, as we see, there's negative things and there's good things, positive things. The Satan, it's negative because he wants to make us sin, wants us to fail. So those negative powers, they need to live, they need to exist. So what they do for existing? They need to eat. They need energy. Source of energy is only holiness, positive energy. So they are looking for energy to live. Where can they get energy? Jews. What's the source of the Jewish energy? Where it's located? In the nails. So that's why when you go to sleep, your soul leaves the body, not the whole soul, there's parts to the soul. Certain parts leave the body, and now there's something is empty. So there's a place for the sitra acha, the bad forces, to come and to take some energy. Because you're not there. You're not fully there. When you are fully there, you have a big protection. They can't take nothing. If you're a good person, you have a protection. But when you sleep and it's night, so it's dear time. It's easier. So now you have that spirit that comes, and then they can't go into your body. They just go here in the nails. If you have very long nails, what happens? The nails that we have inside those nails, the inside part that has a meat surround, this is very this is very holy. This is a big source of energy. When the nail grows and grows and grows, then when it comes out, above the meat, above the skin, so then there is a place to those negative forces to come and take energy from you. That's why growing nails, according to Kabbalah and Zohar, is bad. It's not a good thing to do. Why? You give a place of energy to the negative forces. And you basically give them food. You give them powers, and they take your powers. I'm talking about spiritual powers. Now, I know that a lot of women will be angry at me right now. I know that, but I have to tell you the truth. I'm serious. Now, one second. We're going to explain everything, okay? Now, that's according to Kabbalah. If you want to do the best, don't grow your own nails. You want to put, those, what they do today. Artificial? No problem. It's not real. But your own nails, I'm not saying it's not allowed according to halakha. According to halakha, it is allowed for women. But according to Kabbalah, that's not a good idea. Because again, if you have nails and if you look at your hand and it still doesn't pass the skin level, it's okay. But after it passes the skin level, you have to cut it. Why? You give a place of energy to the negative forces to take from you. If a lady, she is nida, in a time when she see blood, it's even worse. That's why we have to be very careful. Those who wants to, especially those people that study holy things, Kabbalah and stuff like that, they have to be very protected and to not give their energy out. And one of the things is watch your nails. Now, that's why we're going to see in Judaism that in Shulchan Aruch, in the book of laws, in a lot of places it says that we have to cut our nails before the holiday, before Shabbat, right? It's a mitzvah. There are certain times that we're not allowed to cut the nails. But even on those times, when the nail is too big, for example, Chol HaMoed. On Chol HaMoed is the days between the first day of Sukkot and the last day of Sukkot, or the first day of Pesach and the last day of Pesach. Those days, according to the Ashkenazi minhag, custom, we don't cut nails. Also, by the way, according to Kabbalah, we don't cut nails at night. Why? What's the reason? The reason is because at night is it's the time of judgment of those negative forces that are very strong at that time. That's why people are afraid at night. That's why night is so dark and scary sometimes, right? Because it's the time of the negative powers. And if we're going to cut our nails at that time, we are kind of fighting them. Because they want us to have nails. Because they take energy. And what do? You cut your nails at dear time, when the judgments are very, very strong, Chaz v'shalom, they get angry at you. That's why don't do it. Yeah, it's like you. There was a story. It's brought down in Yerushalmi Talmud. There's two types of Talmud, Gemara. One Babylonian and one that they wrote in Jerusalem, Yerushalmi. In the Yerushalmi Talmud it says that one of the most important mitzvot, things that we can do in life, is tzedakah, donation. It's one of the most important things. Because the whole purpose of life is to be a giver. And giving donation that you worked on, right? It's very hard, and you give, it's a big, big mitzvah. Now, there was one fellow, one rabbi, that he was a very holy rabbi. He was holy to an extent that he was, sometimes, he was seeing the Satan. He could see angels. And one time, he gave tzedakah at night, that rabbi. So the Satan came to him and told him, what you doing? Why are you trespassing? What do you mean by trespassing? He says, it's my time right now. Powers of judgment. And you come in my time, and you do kindness, and you do a mitzvah that is against, you do a mitzvah that basically is beating me. Don't do it in my time. Same thing as getting a haircut or cutting nails at night. I'm not talking about halacha. According to halacha, to the law, Jewish law, we are allowed to cut our nails at night. We are allowed to take a haircut at night. But according to Zohar to Kabbalah, those who want to look a little bit more deep to the world, we will not do it. I remember as a child in my house, my grandmother, my grandfather, my mother, always, they knew there was a custom. At night, we don't cut nails. That was the custom all the time. Why? They even didn't know. But the reason is a Kabbalistic reason. Why? It's the time of judgment. You don't cut them. You don't do it at that time. Now, the Bennish High, one of the holy rabbis of Baghdad, of Iraq, 150 years ago, he says, by the way, tonight this is his Yotzai. He passed away this night. Yeah. So the Bennish High, he says that even though that we don't cut nails at night, according to Kabbalah, as I just told you why, he says, but if the nails are so big that is over the skin, so in that case, it's better to cut it at night than leave it like this. Because when it's, as we said, when it's very long, you give a place to the negative forces to take holy energy from you. And then you give them power. Second, you lose power. So that's why we would be careful to look and watch our nails to do that the best way. You wanted to ask
Polish. I just wanted to know
about the polish. Yeah. So the polish, there's no problem. Do the polish, but every, let's say, 2 weeks or 3 weeks, go to the polish guy and tell him, listen, cut my nail, and then put the polish. So I don't want my nail to grow more than the skin level. Okay? So that's one. By the way, nails, as we said, has a big power. And that's why, let's go back to what I said before, when you go to sleep, and then your soul goes up, certain part of the soul. And now that spirit comes, the negative spirit. And the nails, because the nails are so holy, so powerful, what the nail does is stop this negative spirit that comes on you when you sleep to go all over the body. So basically the nails, it's a protection for that spirit to not control all your body. And that's why nails are very important. And that's why we just need to wash our hands. We don't need to wash the whole body when we wake up in the morning, because it's only there. they don't have more power to go all over the body because the holy power, the holy energy of the nail stops it. And that's why it's very good, Baruch Hashem, that we have those nails. I said one time in one of my lectures that we can use the nails for other different things. For example, according to what we just said, Rabbi Chaim Palaji, one of the big rabbis of Turkey, 150 years ago, he says that if a person laughs and he wants to stop laughing, he should look at his nails. When you're going to look at your nails, you're going to stop laughing right away. And why is that? You can check it. I checked that many times. Yeah? I mean, if you laugh and then suddenly you just look at your nails, you're going to see right away your smile is going to go down. Why? The reason is because our subconscious mind remembers the sin of Adam and Eve. Remember that we lost the nail body that we had, that holiness, that light that we had the whole body, and now we all only have leftovers. The subconscious mind, when looks at nails, remembers that right away, remembers the sin. The sin brought a lot of bad things to the world. People die, suffer, and work hard, labor. All those things is because of the sin. So our mind right away remembers that, doesn't want to laugh. That's how it works. There's other things that we use nails for. First of all, very, very important, is to watch how we cut the nails. The Gemara in Masechet Nida, on page 17, also in Masechet Brachot, few places the Gemara says, Talmud 2,000 years ago, that we're not allowed to cut the nails and throw them away. The Gemara brings 3 levels of people. The Gemara says, Rasha, a bad person, when he cuts the nails, he throws them away. Any place. That's a Rasha, that's an evil person. Tzaddik, a righteous person, Kovran, he would take his nails and bury them. That's a tzaddik. And Chassid means is more than righteous. People that they do more than God expect from them. Chassidim. Chassid, he burns the nails. That's what the Gemara says. 3 levels of people. 1, Rasha, the bad guy, he throws them away anywhere. Benoni, 1 second. The Benoni, the Tzaddik, the righteous, he buries them. And the Chassid, the best one, he burns them. Why is that? Why are those 3 different levels? Yeah, what's the question?
So the question was, when you go to a guy that does nails, they cut you, and what happens then?
So we're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that. Okay, 1 second. Yeah.
Somewhere that you're also supposed to put them in water or something and then float when you need to find them.
Yeah, I know. We're gonna practically speaking, we're gonna speak on practical things. Bezat Hashem. Also, we're gonna talk about what we do when you go to a salon or whatever to cut the nails. Okay. But Bezat Hashem, slowly. If at the end of the lecture we'll have more questions, I'll stay here and I'll deal with this. So okay, now the way we cut the nails, we said there's 3 levels. Why is that? The Gemara says like this: a person that throws his nails away, it's dangerous. Why it's dangerous? The Gemara says if there is a pregnant lady that will step on that, so chas v'shalom, she will have a miscarriage. Why? We understand now why. Because there's a very big negative power in those nails. Why? Nails are very holy when they are connected to us. But when the nail grows, it's a place for the negative forces to come and take energy. When you cut that, so right away all the negative forces comes there to take whatever is there, what left over. So now there's a lot of tum'ah, there's a lot of impurity at the nails. That's why if you throw them away, And a pregnant lady that she's very spiritually sensitive, she steps on that, chas v'shalom, she can have a miscarriage. And that's why the Gemara says, if you throw your nails and you don't bury them or burn them, it can somehow get to a place that a lady will step on them. And therefore you are Rasha, you are a bad guy because you cause someone to die. That's why the Gemara says that. Why is a righteous person buries them? Because he doesn't want her to step on that. But burying, it's also not the best. You know why? Because somehow, I don't know, someone will find it, maybe it's gonna come out, and you know, people are sometimes they dig inside the land, they look for like archaeologists, whatever. Somehow it can come out. So you're doing the right thing, you're a tzaddik, kol hakavod, very good. But the chassid, the one that is really, really careful, he burns them. Now today we don't do that, yeah. Aval, we have something that is very similar to burning, right? We put it where? We put it in the sink or in the toilet, right? It gets to a place that a pregnant lady most likely would not go there. Yeah. So Baruch Hashem, we are all tzaddikim, we are all doing the right thing. But I want to tell you something very important. A lot of people, when they cut their nails, they cut them on their clothes.
What do you mean?
On the leg, you know, on the they have like on them.
Okay.
You know, you have a skirt, and you cut the nails on the skirt, and then you take it and then you take it to the wash. That's a problem. Why? Because all this negativity that comes out after we cut the nails, as I told you, that all the forces come right away to take the energy, they come on your clothes. And they say that the Zohar says it has a very, very high impurity, tum'ah. And that's why we should avoid this one. We should do it right away to the sink or to another vessel, and from that vessel we're gonna put it into the sink. Yeah.
How do you get rid of impurity on your clothes?
So again, that impurity, when you wash the clothes, it's okay. But right now, and especially if this lady is pregnant, you know, or if she is nida in the time that she see blood, she gets such an very, very high impurity, and the Zohar even says that it would be very hard for her to get rid of that. So that's why we should cut our nails on our legs or skirt or any clothes that we wear. We just do it in another place, in a vessel or in the sink. Yeah, this lecture has a lot of questions. Baruch Hashem. Yeah.
You said that dead nails, does dead hair have the same status as dead nails?
Not the same status, but very similar.
Also, tumah with dead hair?
After you cut your hair, you have to do netilat yadayim. Same thing, nails.
What just brushing it?
No, brushing it, it's okay. But
Someone else cut your hair.
Whenever you brush it,
even if you didn't touch the hair at all, someone else touch your, cut your hair or cut your nails even. You have to do netilat yadayim right away. And I'll tell you, the Rabbi Eliyahu Davidash, 450 years ago, he writes in his book, Chupat Eliyahu, he says that there's 3 things that can bring you to the aga. The aga is worrying. You know, some people, they always worry, they're depressed. What can make you depressed and worry about life all the time? One of the things that he says, a person that grow his nails. So if you grow your nails, or you cut your nails and you don't do netilat yadayim, yeah? No, the Gemara says if you grow your nails too much, can bring you to depression and worrying. If you cut your nails and you don't wash after that your hands, netilat yadayim, מביא האדם לפחד. It brings a person to stress, to be scared from things. You know? People that are stressed in life, everything they get it very, very stressed. One of the reasons is because they cut their hair and they cut their nails and they don't wash their hands after that. I'm talking about only Jews.
Sometimes you brush your hair and the hair will come out of the head.
I would do netilat yadayim as well.
Also,
I would do netilat yadayim as well. Yeah.
How many seconds do you have until it becomes impure to take the nail off your shirt?
There's no right away.
Right.
That's why don't cut your nails on clothes. That's a rule. Now, after we cut the nails, as we said, we have to do netilat yadayim. Now, when we cut our nails, you know, it's very hard to watch it so it doesn't, you know, sometimes you cut the nail and then the nail like flies somewhere. And then you say, oh my God, like, you know, chas v'shalom, if you have a pregnant lady in your house or something like that, what you do in that case? So the Gemara brings down that if something like that happened, there is a way to cancel that. What's the way? They say the whole power, the negative power that we have at the nail, it's at the spot that the nail was found, right? But after you move it to another room, so it loses its impurity. So that's why if something like that happened in your life, right? You cut your nails into a vessel or the sink, and then one of the nails, like, you know, just flew somewhere. So, and you have a pregnant lady in your house, or may have, I would take a broom and clean the whole house and the whole room, and take all the things to another room. Yeah.
on the opposite side, let's say one's pregnant, how do they like go out in public? Like people like bite their nails and those ones for all.
That's first of all, Jews and non-Jews is two different things. If a non-Jew cut its nails, it would not be the same effect as a Jew.
Really?
Yeah. And the reason is because the holiness of what we have in our nails and they have, it's two different things. Now, another thing is, so it's only in a Jewish place. Another thing is, you know, there's a lot of ladies that they do the manicure, pedicure, all those. I had one case in my community. There was a lady that this is her profession, and she had a miscarriage, and then she had another miscarriage, and then she had another miscarriage here in Toronto. And she came to me and she said, Rabbi, I don't understand what's happening. So I told you, what's your profession? So she told me, I'm doing nails. I said, okay, that's why. How do you do the nails? She says, I put it on my, and it always goes to me. And so I told her, listen, you have to do it in a different way so it goes to another place, not to you. And we were trying, she told me when it's happened the second time. We were trying to do some things, but it didn't help because she was all surround nails, you know. And then I called one of my rabbis and I asked him what we should do. He told me, I think I told you that once, that he told me that I should take snake leather. You know, the snake, once in a few years, they take the shell, the skin. They take the skin off, right? So that skin, he told me to take this and make a belt for her, and all time of pregnancy she should wear it on her. And I didn't know what to do, like how to get it. And then I asked one of my friends. He told me, "What do you mean? You buy it on Amazon?" So I said, "Listen, I don't know Amazon. You know, you buy for me. It's cost exactly $16. He brought the skin, and we made the belt for her. And Baruch Hashem, she had now a second baby. She puts the belt all the time. So you see that those stuff are like serious. It's not simple. And I know a lot of stories. It's not a lecture for stories, but this is really we have to be careful with.
What if the pregnant lady's a hairdresser? Also looks bad?
No, hairdresser is different. I would appreciate if we will ask the questions at the end of the because I'm losing my. Okay. You can write it down. I'll answer every question. Okay, so let's go, Bezat Hashem, to the next one, right? Next topic. So Rabbi Eliyahu Dividash says, one of the things that can happen, Chaz v'Shalom, if you don't cut your nails and you grow your nails, we said, Chaz v'Shalom brings you depression. If you cut your nails and you don't wash your hands, it can bring you pachad, stress. So we see that it's very important to take care of the nails, to do it the right way. Now, when you go to polish, okay, you go to a lady that does the nails and everything, yeah, we should tell her to make it, to be careful, to put it in a certain place and then to throw it away, right? We should tell her that for me it's very important, it's very, I have a reason, and so they will be careful. I would not suggest a pregnant lady to walk in those stores that they don't watch what they do with the nails, and the nails are all over, especially if there's a lot of Jews at that area. I would not suggest a pregnant lady to go and to do that at that place. She should do it at home or in a private place. That's the right suggestion at that case. For men, it's even it's even more important to make sure that they don't grow their nails. Men, because they study Torah a lot, they have a lot of positivity and good energy that comes from the Torah. If they grow their nails, all the Torah that they learn, they give it out to the negative forces. They give them power. That's why they should be careful to cut their nails, to not grow the nails. It's very, very important. Also, sometimes we see the nails we have, and the bottom of the nail, there's a lot of lichluch, dirt, yeah. Underneath the nail, there's dirt coming, yeah, after a while. So this dirt is also, the dirt is there because of the dirt comes there, not because it's dirty, it's because of those negative forces that they come there, so it becomes dirty. That's the reason. So that's how you can see every place that you see dirt. Basically, there's a lot of every place we see a physical dirt. It's because there's a spiritual dirt there. Every place. That's why in the washroom and other places we're not allowed to speak Torah. You can't watch a lecture or talk about holy things in those places, because the same thing, you give the powers of Torah, of holiness, to those places, to those energies, the bad energies. You give them food and you lose your energy. So that's why we have that. Now, I wanted to speak a little bit about the fingers also, because nails are in the fingers. Now, we have 10 fingers. What's the reason we have 10 fingers? Why Hashem? No, it's a rhetorical question.
Don't ask the question.
Yeah, no, I'm saying. Why do we have 10 fingers? Why Hashem didn't create us with 12, Like there's 12 tribes, maybe 12 fingers, I don't know. There's different reason why Hashem could create more or less. So actually, when the Adam and Eve were created, they were created with 10 fingers. The reason they were created with 10 fingers is because Hashem created the world with 10 powers, right? And if we pay attention, we have 10 fingers, but every finger has a few parts, right? Every finger has 3 parts, right? It's divided to 3 parts. That's why we can do this, and yeah. So those 3 parts, here we have, in the 4 fingers, we have each one 3 parts, and the big finger, the thumb, we have only 2 parts, right? So if we're gonna calculate all of them together, so it's gonna be 3 plus 3, it's 6, plus 3, it's 9, plus 3, it's 12, plus 2 is 14. So we have 14 pieces, basically, 14 parts to the hand. So 14 in Hebrew is Yudalid, 14 in Hebrew we say Yudalid. Yud is 10, Dalid is 4. It's 14. That's why hand in Hebrew called yad. Yud Dalet. Because it has 14 pieces. Now we have one hand and then we have another hand, right? So we have two. 14 plus 13 is 28. 28 in Hebrew is going to be kaf chet, koach. Koach is power. Where is the source of power? In the hands, right? So that's why we have this. By the way, that's why when we bless every morning, we do netilat yadayim, we wash our hands. And then we take our hand and we lift it up, right, to the face. And then we say the blessing, Baruch Atah Hashem. Why do we have to lift it up? Yeah? Why do we have to raise the hands up? The reason is because we show in the morning that the koach, yeah, Yudalet and Yudalet, 14 and 14, which is 28, which is koach, we show that all the power that we have, all the koach that we have, it's not from us, it's from Hashem. So that's why we raise the hands when we do Netilat Yadayim, to show that all the powers, also when we eat. Yeah, why? Because when we eat, we have a big pride. Baruch Hashem, I worked very hard, I got a good meal, Baruch Hashem, and now you think it's you. But then no, say, oh, you go, you wash your hand, and then you lift, you raise your hands to show that the koach, the 28, is from Hashem. The power is from Hashem, is not from you. So that's one of the Kabbalistic intentions that we have when we do Netilat Yadayim, when we wash our hands. By the way, after Adam and Eve were created with 10 fingers, because there's 10 powers to the world, right? Hashem created the world with 10 powers. That's why we have 10 fingers. And He created the world with. He created Adam and Eve with 10 fingers. Then, when they sinned, all their fingers, all those 4 fingers, they became one. That's what happened. After the sin, that's why it says that it was very hard to work in the land. Yeah? The Torah says, the scribes, after the sin, one of the curses that God cursed Adam and Eve is that you would have a hard time working in the land. Why do we going to have a hard time? Because now you have only basically 2 parts to the hand. All 4 fingers are together, in some ovens, when you want to take something from the oven, you have that glove, that's how people used to be. For how long? For more than 1,000 years. Up until Noah, that's how you call him in English, but I'll call him Noah because that's the right way to say it. Noah, when he was born, his parents called him Noah. Noah in Hebrew, it's comfortable. Why would they pick a name like that? Comfortable. Like, imagine you call your son comfortable. Yeah, it's funny. Why do you call him like this? The reason they call him like this is because he was the only person after 1,000 years from Adam and Eve before the sin that was born with 10 fingers. And from him, it started to be normal. So everybody, he was the first one. So they understood that Baruch Hashem, they already fixed a certain curse. Yeah? The time of that curse of working hard in the land and not comfortable is finished at the time of Noah. And from then, they started to have 10 fingers. And that's why they call him comfortable, because it was a lot more comfortable. Baruch Hashem. No. So, by the way, we have certain... David HaMelech, in the Psalms of Tehillim, Psalms of David. In one of the Psalms there he says, it's Be'otai LaMilchama, that he was doing a lot of wars, with the enemies. And David says, the way I fight, the way we make a war, it's with my fingers. I was using my fingers to fight the enemies. So the question is, how do you use your fingers to fight the enemies? Like, you use weapons to fight the enemies, not fingers. So David HaMelech was very spiritual. He was not using only weapon, he was using a spiritual weapon. The way that David fight with the enemies was with praying and using his fingers. What does that mean? There's one one psalm in Tehillim. It's the 19th chapter. 19th chapter in Tehillim. That in that chapter there is 5 sentences, 5 psukim, and each one of them has 5 words. And they come one after the other. 5 psukim and has 5 words. And the second word of each one of those 5 psukim is the name of God. So David HaMelech says, if you're going to read that chapter 19 in Tehillim, and you're going to say those 5 psukim, I'll tell you those psukim, I hope I remember them by heart. פיקודי השם ישרים משמחי לב, מצוות אדוני ברא מיראת עיניים, מיראת אדוני טהורה עומדת לעד, משפטי אדוני אמת צדקו יחדיו. Yeah, those psukim that I just said, they have 5 words each. And the second word is the name of God. So he says, if you take those 5 sentences in chapter 19 and you say them and you count, every word you say, you count with 1 finger, with a thumb, and then the name of Hashem you say when you count it with the second finger. Yeah, Pikudei Adonai Yesharim Mesamchei Lev, Mitzvat Adonai Bara Meirat Enai, Yirat Adonai Teora Omedet La'ad, Mishpatei Adonai Emet Tzadeku Yahdav. If you say those things and you count them with the fingers, you basically bring power to your fingers, and everything you're going to point after saying those 5 psukim, you're going to succeed.
Really?
So what he was doing, he was saying that psalm, he was counting it, and then he was pointing on the enemy, and he was destroying the enemy. That's why it's Be'otai LaMilchama. He had a technique how to fight and to win in war by using his fingers. That's why in a lot of prayers, it says to use the fingers. And I saw in one of the holy books, when you use your fingers for a certain prayer to count certain things, for example, that psalm that I just gave you, 19, if you read that and you count it with your fingers, and then let's say, Chaz v'shalom, you feel you have a pain somewhere in your body, and then you touch that place, after saying it and counting it with the finger, you touch that place, it will heal.
Wow.
So a lot of times we do it.
Somebody else?
Huh?
Can you do it for
You can do it for somebody else also. I saw it in one of the holy books, they say. So you can use your hand, your finger. That's why the power of the hand, of the fingers, is so powerful. That's why the father, when blessed the son on Shabbat, after Kiddush, he has to put his hand on his head. And by the way, the right way to do it is so the son or the daughter, they need to kiss. I'm sure you saw it. They kiss the hand of the father and they bless him. So some people, they do it the opposite. The father bless and then they kiss the hand out of respect. But really, the right way to do it is to kiss it first, and then the father or the mother will give you a blessing with the hand. Why is that? Because as I told you before, we have 5 fingers in every hand. And those 5 fingers, they symbolize 5 powers of judgment. There's only 5 powers of judgment in the world. They called Mantzepach. Mantzepach is in the Hebrew alphabet. I know the class is a little bit deep, so we have to focus. In the Hebrew alphabet, there's 22 letters. Aleph, Bet, Gimel, Dalet until Taf, right? But there's 5 letters that they called Sofiyot. It's end letters. Yeah? For example, we have Mem. Mem can be regular Mem, and we have Mem Sofit. If it's in the end of the word, it changed the shape, but it's the same letter. So we have only 5 Otiyot Sofiyot, end letters, which are Mem, Nun, Tzadik, Pei, Chaf, Mantzepach. Right? Now, all of those 5 letters, Mantzepach, I just say it in one word. Those letters are Every finger symbolize one of those letters. Those letters that are at the end. Why they are at the end? Because the energy of those letters, it's a judgment energy. So that's why the hand has a lot of judgments, because the power is in the hand. Power is its judgments. Now, when you use the hand for blessing, you want to bring kindness. So what you need, you have to sweeten the judgments. How you sweeten the judgments? You give the kid to kiss your hand, which sweetening the judgments that you have on the hand, and then after you bless them, the kindness can come in. So that's why they kiss, because kissing is sweet, right? When someone is sweet, what you do? You kiss. When a baby is sweet, you want to kiss the baby. We're sweetening the judgments. So that's the reason we do it that way. That's why when next time you go to your father's house on Shabbat, you make sure you tell him, Father, come here, kiss his hand, and he will give you a blessing. Same thing to your mother. There's a very, very big secret according to Kabbalah, every Friday before Kiddush, to go to your mom and to kiss her hand. It gives you a lot of shefa, a lot of blessing, if it's possible, right? So your mother, before Kiddush, you kiss her hand, and your father, after Kiddush, before we wash the hands, he gives you a blessing, you kiss his hand. That's the right thing to do. And any blessing you want to give a person, when you use your hand, the energy that you have, yeah, it's affecting it. When you bless with the hand and without the hand, it's two different things. That's why even people that they heal, right? Sometimes there's a healing that you do with your hands, right? Because there's a certain energy here. But they don't know what I just told you with the kissing and all those things that you can do that can make it a lot more powerful. Now, this is the fingers. Let's go back to the nails. One of the traditions we have, every Saturday night, after Shabbat ends, we do Havdalah. The Havdalah, we light a candle. It has to be not a normal candle. It has to be a candle with two,
Three.
how you call it?
It's like three candles intertwined.
No. It has to be at least two
The strings?
ptilot. איך אומרים ptilot? Those strings, right?
Yes.
The wicks?
Wicks. Yeah, 2 weeks. Exactly. So, no, you have to have at least two.
At least,
Two.
but could be three.
You can do 5. But, yeah, then it's gonna be Lag BaOmer. But the minimum is to have 2 together. There's reasons why. We're not gonna get to that right now, because then the time is gonna be over.
Regular and put the
Right. You can take 2, and you can even, let's say you have only 1 candle. You can take another, matches. You can take 1 stick and to attach it, so it's 2, right? And do it, and then you just throw it away. So, but you have to have 2 in the time of Havdalah. When we do the Havdalah and we make the blessing, so what we do, we look at our nails. What's the reason we do that? Now, first of all, it's a big fixing to the sin of Adam and Eve. We said that the nails that we have, it's leftovers from the sin. And that's why on Shabbat, when Shabbat ends, we are starting the new week. Now on Shabbat, because we light candles of Shabbat, the women, the ladies, they light candle of Shabbat. By lighting the candles of Shabbat, they bringing back a little bit of that light of the nail that Adam had before the sin to themselves. So basically, lighting candles of Shabbat, bringing you that light, tziporen. You remember? Tziporen, tzipui, or nun. The cover of the light of the nun, of the Binah, of the 50 level of Binah. So that light that we lost when Adam and Eve made the sin, we have it every Shabbat after we light the candles. That's why you feel more spiritual on Shabbat. That's why you can eat more on Shabbat, because you have more neshama, right? That's why when Shabbat is over, we all feel a little bit of, something we missing, right? This is that light. That's why what we do, by lighting the candle and looking at the nails and lighting the nails with the candle, we're bringing a little bit of that light that we had on Shabbat to the weekdays. So we're not going to lose it completely. That's why it's very important to do Havdalah on Motzei Shabbat. So you bring a little bit of that light to the weekdays, means you have more energy to do in the rest of the week after that. Now, in Havdalah, the right way to do the Havdalah is to look at the nails by covering the thumb. You cover the thumb and you do like this, and that's how you look at the Havdalah. Two reasons for that. One reason is also to light this place. What's this place? Maybe we're going to make a lesson on that once, but the place here, we have a lot of lines. Those lines is basically all your life is written here. What happened, what will happen, and what's happening right now. Your mazal, your luck, is it's on your every hand. Yeah, people that study Zohar, they can know things about you, your character, and your future, according to the lines that we have here. What we do, the Chafetz Chaim says, on Havdalah, which is the beginning of the week, we want to light our luck, our mazal. What we do this, and we show the candle that symbolizes light and good positive energy to that place. So therefore we light our luck, we light our mazal, and gives you a good luck for the week. That's why we do this. This is one reason. The other reason is because we have 5 fingers. We said it's 5 powers of judgment, but which finger has the most powers of judgment is the thumb. Yeah, the thumb has the strongest judgment. That's why we want to cover it. We want the thumb symbolizes Satan. We want to overcome it. And that's why we cover it at the time of Havdalah. And therefore, that's why, by the way, if you want to be safe from problems, let's say you go in the street and then there's a dog barking on you, and you want the dog to stop barking on you, you know what you should do? You should cover your thumb. When you cover your thumb, and if you can say another pasuk, there's a sentence also that you can say, and it will stop barking. Yeah, u'lechol bnei Yisrael lo yichratz kelev leshono. If you cover it and you say that pasuk, it will stop. Why? Because you cover the power of judgment, and therefore the dog, they feel the energy, they know what's happening with you, and we have sins, right? But when you cover the judgments, yeah, so they don't see your sins, so therefore they will stop barking on you. So that's one of the reasons. That's one of the things we can do, also covering this one. Okay, so we spoke about the fingers a little bit, and Havdalah, right? So in Havdalah we use the nails, and we're lighting our luck by looking at the Havdalah at that way, and that's the proper way to do it. Another thing that we can study from nails is the nails that we have to know that when we cut the nails, some of the rabbis says that cutting the nails has to be in a certain order. Yeah. Now, Rabbeinu Arizal says that there's no real Kabbalistic meaning to the order of cutting the nails, and that's why this is emunat tefillah. I don't know how to say emunat tefillah. It's there's some beliefs that people believe and they are wrong, right? So one of them, and I heard it in a lot of places, they say that you're not allowed to cut your nails, the hands and the legs in the same day, and that's wrong. That doesn't have a Kabbalistic source. That's why Arizal says there's no problem. You can cut your nails of the hands and the legs at the same day. There's no problem. Also, you don't have a certain order. You can just do it any order you want, as much as you careful, as we said, that it doesn't go, that it doesn't fell on the floor and fly somewhere. We should be very careful with the nails and taking care of them, so nothing bad will happen at that thing. Now there's another topic that I would like to share with you, that has a relation to the nails, and it's also somehow related to Adam and Eve. Each one of us, we're using the powers of purity in every day, right? After we do Netilat Yadayim, so we become pure. Every mitzvah that we do, we become more spiritual, right? The more spiritual you are, the more protection you need, right? That's why people like pregnant ladies that are pregnant, right? They need more spiritual protection. Why? Because they have a baby. The baby has no sins. He is clean. It's a pure soul. It's very holy. That's why Talmid Chacham, a person that studies Torah all the time, a person that goes to a lot of lectures of Torah, of Kabbalah, of stuff like that, this person is very, very holy. He needs more protection. Those people would need to be more careful with cutting the nails at the right time, as we said, to not cut it at night. And also they have to be more careful to not grow their nails. So they will look at their nails every few days to see that they cut it and it doesn't grow more. Another thing is on Shabbat. Shabbat, we're not allowed to cut our nails. Even if the nails are very, they grew very much, you don't cut it on Shabbat. Shabbat is holy. It's a sin to cut the nails on Shabbat, and that's why we should avoid it on Shabbat. We can do it before Shabbat, and Adrabah, it's a mitzvah to do it before Shabbat, because then you show that you respect the Shabbat. You come into the Shabbat when you don't have those judgments on you, right? So you cut everything, you're set, you Baruch Hashem. This is a right thing to do before Shabbat. Women that they go to the mikveh, right? They have to cut the nails, because sometimes when the nail grow, as we said, there's a dirt. That dirt, when you go to the mikveh, it's chatzitza. It's blocking basically, because the water has to get to every part of your body, and if you have a dirt which is blocking the water to touch that place, so the whole mikveh would not be kosher at that case. So women that goes to the mikveh, they have to make sure that they clean their nails very good, and then they go to the mikveh. And in general, the mikveh is very, very good, because the mikveh brings a lot of positive energy and takes all the negative energy out of us. So that's why going to mikveh is very good and important. But if we go already, we should do it the right way, so it's really working. Bezat Hashem. Okay, I see that we're already on time. Just last point, and your question, Bezat Hashem, I will be happy to answer. We spoke a little bit about hair, and we said that the hair, you asked me about hair, that the hair and the nails is a very, they are very close to each other. They have the same energy, because nails, when you cut them, we said that all the impure powers comes in, and the hair is also judgments. So that's why when you cut hair, it's power of judgment. Aval, there's a big difference between two things. First of all, the hair itself is judgment. The nails are very, very holy, Just when you cut them, because they are holy, the negative powers, they come to take that holiness, and that's why now it's a problem. That's why stepping on hair would not be a problem at all. Yeah, but you still would need to wash your hands after taking a haircut. But stepping on nails will be a problem, as we said. But the Zohar says not just for pregnant for ladies that are pregnant, it's also for men and also for any other lady. Stepping on nails is a mezik. It's not good. It can, chas v'shalom, cause spiritual problems and physical problems. It's not good to everyone. But the Gemara says, especially for a pregnant lady, in that case it can cause, chas v'shalom, a miscarriage. That's why the Gemara writes it. But in general, we should be very careful to not step on nails. As much as we can be careful to watch our steps and watch our nails, we will be more happy in life, and we will have more positivity. And you know, those secrets that I'm talking about, this is stuff that people doesn't know. People has a lot of problems sometimes, and there's no explanation why they have those problems. Like I told you with that lady that had miscarriage all the time, and she didn't understand why. She goes to the doctors, and the doctor says everything is okay. But really, when you go and you study those things and the meaning of everything, and why God created this and why God created that, and what it caused in a spiritual level, you understand a lot of things that happen with us every day, and you know what to be careful for, where to be careful and what to be careful, and we can teach our kids also. As I told you, that I remember in my family, which was a secular family, they were not practicing all the Torah and the mitzvot. Some of it, not everything, but those things were passed from mother to the daughter, and from the father to the son, because this is a way of life. This is secrets of life. And Jews and non-Jews are very different. We have a different system, and we have a different effect on things, and things affecting us differently than the non-Jews. And that's why we need to study those stuff. Yeah, we need to study what's happening when we grow nails or not grow nails, when we wear in a certain way, when we do certain things, it's affect our life, our family. And if we study that, B'ezrat Hashem, this is why this class was made for, to know a little bit the deep meaning of life, of the world. Sometimes it's hard to understand, right? Because we're not used to this kind of information. And we don't have a lot of time to explain each thing very deep. But really, when we open to this kind of information, we will see that our life are going to be a lot less stressed, less problems in life, and we will know what to do and how to do. So therefore, we would not get to, chas v'shalom, big problems in life, and would not know why is it happening to us. B'ezrat Hashem, I want to bless all of you, that we should all have, B'ezrat Hashem, a protection, spiritual protection, every second, every minute. We would study more Torah and more Zohar, B'ezrat Hashem, in this class. And whatever, Baruch Hashem, whatever energy we bring to ourselves from studying Torah, that this is you don't understand how we are different right now, before we came here and after we go out. Like we are, like the energy that we have inside ourselves, it's so big. And if we would have the eyes to see it, right? So B'ezrat Hashem, so this energy, this holiness, this kedusha that we just received in the shiur, by knowing more and learning more, should stay inside us, and we should not give it out to other places. And B'ezrat Hashem, I want to bless all of you to have a good week, and bracha v'atzlacha in whatever you do. We have a little bit of time now. If you want to ask like particular questions, we can do.
To ask when the person passes away, the hair and the nails are still growing. What does it mean and why is it?
Right. Not just the nail, also the hair.
Hair and nails.
The reason is because the hair and the nail, it's the powers. The person when he passed away, not all the soul leaves the body. There's a certain part of the soul that is still there. That's why we come visit. Why we come visit? What's the point of coming visit if the person is not there? Just his body. The body is nothing. There is a certain part of the soul that stays all the time. It's called in the Zohar Havla de Garme, the spirit of the bones. The spirit of the bones is always staying in the body even when it's in the grave. And because of that spirit, there is a certain chayut, life, to that body. And that's why it still grows. Because that's why when we are located beside a dead person, we consider tameh, impure. We get that impurity. What's the impurity? Again, a Jew passed away. The Jew did a lot of good things in his life. Now he passed away. Most of his soul went up. Now all the negative forces has a place to come in and take some energy. Right? That's why it becomes tameh. So they stay there up until we cover it with lint. Yeah, that's why it's very important to do it as fast as you can. Why? The person waiting for that, he suffers every second that he does that is not in the land, because he is kind of he's revealed to the negative forces, so he wants to be covered. Right? So this chiyut, this life that's inside the body stay. Because of that life, the body still, the hair still grows and the nail still grows, because there is life.
More impurity.
Nachon? Yeah.
Just very quick to this, and then we'll let
Okay.
the nails. So what if the person passed away on Shabbat, Friday
Okay.
night? You cannot do anything until
Right.
Sunday.
Usually people that pass away on Shabbat, it's a good thing.
Oh,
Because when someone passes away on Shabbat, in Shabbat, there's no the power of negativity is very blocked, and so they have it's good. But after that, that's the problem. After Shabbat goes away, now all the judgments are waking up.
okay. So the question about the nails and the hair. So let's say you're in the hairdresser salon, they, cut your hair, whatever they did the thing, and then you have to go to someone's barber.